You had columnists in this newspaper writing that somebody who's overweight can't possibly be president.
What did you think of that?
It's idiotic.
I say to all the late night guys, because all of them have their shots with me, as long as they're funny, I don't mind. You know, if they're funny, I'll laugh with them. If they're not funny, then I'm bored. Really, seriously, you're not asking me about Hostess Twinkies, are you? What's the next question? David, what do you got? I'm not answering a question about, you know, there's so much. I'm on Saturday Night Live enough. You think you're getting me behind this microphone, having me talk about Twinkies? This is a setup, man. I know it.
I've made jokes about you, not just one or two, not just ongoing here and there, intermittent, but...
I didn't know this was going to be this long.
Come on, it's no secret. He even has fun with it. Chris Christie makes jokes about his weight, and he's got a weight issue. He's even made fun at it at his own expense on occasions, from whether it's black tie affairs to walking down the Jersey Shore. For a lot, the humor's appealing. For others, his weight isn't a laughing matter. You may remember that back in early February, a former White House doctor said that she wanted Christie to run for president, but feared that his weight might become a serious issue.
I worry that he may have a heart attack, he may have a stroke. It's almost like a time bomb waiting to happen unless he addresses those issues before he runs for office. And I worry about this man dying in office.
Now, the governor, he didn't find that funny. In fact, he laid into the doctor, calling her, among other things, a hack.
This is just another hack who wants 5 minutes on TV. My 12-year-old son came to me last night and said, "Dad, are you going to die?" I mean, come on. This is irresponsible stuff.
Pretty much everybody lined behind the governor, saying that, you know what, she was out of line. But then we've learned here that Governor Christie has taken some of those warnings to heart. He revealed to the Post here that he secretly underwent lap band stomach surgery back in February, insisted it had nothing to do with the possible presidential run, but about turning 50 and wanting to be there for the family. He checked in 2 days after that incident to have the surgery, and according to the Post, registered under a false name, declined to say how much he lost, but sources say he's already lost 40 pounds. A lot of people laying into the governor for this.
Why?
I'm with you. I don't really see what the big to-do is out of it, in that he wanted to lose weight. If he wants to have the surgery, get the surgery here.
He was a hypocrite. He was a total phony. Oh. He chastised the doctor when she was telling the truth, and that's all she was doing. And then 2 days later, he was already planning for the surgery. That makes him a total hypocrite.
He chastised her because she was trying to get visibility for his overweightness. That's what he chastised her for. Not specifically the words.
That was his talking point, that she wanted 5 minutes of fame.
And she now
he was nasty to her. It has nothing to do with the fact that a doctor shouldn't diagnose people on television. That's not a doctor's role. He was right about that. He was wrong to call her a name. He does that to a lot of people.
Candidates for national office, their health is not diagnosed on on television all the time.
If a doctor wants to do that, let the doctor know the medical records. That's not the point. Guy wants to lose weight. Everybody back the hell off, will you?
Oh, I don't think anybody has a problem with him trying to lose weight, but think of the context of that entire soundbite. His 12-year-old son comes in and asks, "Daddy, are you going to die?" Do we believe that now, that actually happened, considering that he was already planning to go into the surgery, by the way, under an assumed name? So clearly he didn't want anybody to know that he was going in for the procedure.
But that's not uncommon with somebody. Anybody who's got a known name is not necessarily going to walk into a hospital with their actual name.
But I'm more impressed by that, Richard, the fact that he was able to get into the hospital and no one recognized who he was and get out. I'm impressed by that.
Broader question. I remember covering when he ran and won against Corzine, and Corzine, remember, did the ad when he was getting out of the car in the most unflattering picture, and people said, well, you can't get elected. Obviously, they were wrong. I think we were laughing with Letterman bit here. He's played it so much better than anyone else. And I'm not trying to make a joke here. He doesn't have thin skin about this.
He's a fat man. He's either a good governor as a fat man or a bad governor as a fat man. He's a bad governor in my position, in my opinion. Let's say that. Let's forget about it whether he's a fat man.
Okay, but here's the point. This is your world in terms of crafting and creating images of candidates. Nobody would have said 5, 10 years ago that you can be a fat man and become president. You know, the days of Howard Taft long gone and the optics and the 24-hour media. Do they still say that about him?
You're never going to say someone can't do it because of what they've got for certain attributes or penalties they've got at various issues that have come up in their life, or health in this case. But what you do is you manage around it, and you just handle what you can do. You show being active and visible.
You couldn't be divorced. You couldn't be gay. You couldn't be black.
Right. You say you couldn't be black.
Everybody relax.
But I think if he actually lost 150 pounds, I don't know if he'd have as much appeal.
As governor, it's not as big a deal. But let's remember.
Wait, don't just skip over that. I think people like, there's a relatability about him that people like. Not that everybody's clocking in or whatever.
But let's remember, when he ran for governor, he was a national name only because he beat a Democrat, and it was an off-year election like we have every 4 years with Virginia, New York City mayor's race, and New Jersey. What made him a national name was his personality of attacking people in the audience and standing up for what he believes and delivering a message.
Part of his personality?
No, it's what he says. It's the politics.
Dominic, say something.
The politics that Richard Brodsky doesn't like are what makes him a national figure. It's not his weight. That's simple.
It's his personality. It's the way he carries himself. It's the fact that he comes across like a common, not a common, but like an ordinary Joe. He's like a lot of people would be if they were at the podium.
As governor, there's no succession issue in the country. That's not something you don't elect somebody or not elect them because who's going to be following them in line if something happens to their health. As president, because of the world stage you're on and all the other implications of 24 hours a day, 7 days a week of being president, that's the issue that's always going to be out there for anybody.
That's legit.
When they're in the Senate, it's never an issue because if you pass away or have health issues, there's still 99 other senators that continue. That's the question when you run for president. Now, is this a 2016 play or not? He says, and I can see it, my father's alive, thank God, and I'm glad he's living more every day and healthy and everything. And if he's doing this for his family, he's doing this for himself, that's what every American should do, everyone could do about being in better health and trying to make themselves live longer.
I can't remember other than Reagan's age. In both races, but how his age, what was the last, can you think of a physical?
Obama pigment issue was a physical thing. This happens all the time. It changes. The only time this will be relevant in an election is if people think he might not make it.
No.
No?
Because his record as governor of New Jersey becomes an issue if he runs for president with cuts to healthy food programs, cuts to education and other recreational programs that allow for better exercise.
His size becomes an issue only if people think he's in danger of not filling out his term. Interesting, it emphasizes who he'd have to pick as a vice presidential nominee. Sarah Palin doesn't look so good.
That optics do matter. How people look does matter, I think. People like better looking people for office. And whatever you say, the color of the skin and all that, I think there's something to it.
Then he proves you're wrong in that a little bit because they didn't elect him because he was better looking than John Corzine. He was skinnier.
There's something different to being elected governor of New Jersey versus president of the United States.
Up the wrong fat tree.
It's how you carry yourself on TV, Richard. Everyone around you.
But Richard, I'll side with you. Looks always do play a major factor. If you're a good-looking man, it doesn't matter what your race is. You have a certain percentage of the vote. The consultant at the table can tell you that. That's already built in. But I go back to another question. I almost said Corzine, but another question about the governor. If he was under medication during this procedure, did he properly sign over control of the state to the lieutenant governor, which he's supposed to do? How could he do all of this privately?
They don't have a lieutenant governor.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
They have one?
Yeah, as of this election.
It was the first time.
As of this election.
There are certain procedures. You got to get up a lot earlier to catch me. But there are certain procedures that you have to do. And did he do those things in this case? I don't think he did.
I can even argue he's going to be a better campaigner now. He's in better shape. He's got more energy. Al D'Amato, when he would go out to campaign, Al D'Amato, when he went out to campaign every 6 years for the Senate,
Giuliani,
Al D'Amato used to get into campaign shape and lose weight and to get in shape because he knew once he had the campaign, you sleep in hotels, you're up later, you're eating some of your food. So therefore, the better shape he's in, the better candidate he can be.
Here's what I want to know. Was this covered under his health care plan? Did he pay for this out of pocket because he has the resources to do that? How many of his constituents, how many residents of New Jersey have that capacity to do that?
If he's got insurance, then the insurance should pay for it. Look,
Fantastic.
I'm not a fan.
How many people in New Jersey don't have insurance?
Will you people stop beating
Yeah,
them
you
up
sound
on
like
the
you're backing
wrong
them.
things and start beating them up on the right things?
Then Al Roker had surgery too and lost weight and is doing terrific now.
Al Roker's not a governor.
No, but the point is that you look what it does to somebody.
You're turning Chris Christie into a sympathetic figure.
We are going
I thought
to
that
take
was
a break
impossible.
here, but I want you to keep the dialogue going online. Go to Facebook and Twitter at Sound Off here. Do you think Chris Christie's weight is still an issue with voters? When we come back, we do switch gears, though. Benghazi, trust me, tomorrow, it's going to be the lead story. And the controversy will not go away. Now, a whistleblower getting ready to testify that he knew all along that it was a terror attack. We're going to talk about that and what we might hear tomorrow. Straight ahead.